Hello everyone. Today I thought of sharing with you my binge eating story, and this is like very vulnerable stuff, to be very honest. This whole binge eating story, I suppose that this will help many people because I've seen this is like women struggling so much in their life on this binge eating. Sometimes they struggle with themselves, they don't even reach out for someone to get support. That is one of the reasons why I thought of sharing this content, and I hope that by sharing my story it would inspire you to go beyond this binge eating. And for me, I struggled with binge eating for 9 years. This whole thing started at age 14, and I was like, at that time, I remember I was sort of having stressed, like with my exams. I was I was like neglecting doing studies and all that, and then like in terms of like when it comes to exams times, I felt really overwhelmed because I wasn't doing that day to day like studies in my school, and so this time the amount of stress I've experienced, the way I have dealt with that stress and feeling bad inside me, and how I dealt with that was like I used food. Some people like not like here I used as food, but there could be someone else who would go for something else, some other thing like maybe alcohol or maybe some drugs, the same thing. This is like the binge eating means simply you're addicted to food, because you feel comfortable eating food. Like when you're feeling bad and all that, what I reach out to is food. And this was quite a struggle for me. I didn't know what I need to do. I didn't even know how that all developed. I remember like in the beginning of the binge eating, um, I was eating like cheese and bread. That was one of the things that I was eating, and the whole binge eating started happening in me. And for like salt, the craving was about salt. This was to be very honest, it was very, very bad. It was very bad. Like, I didn't know what I need to do with this whole binge eating. I remember like I eat a lot. Whenever I felt bad and stressed out, what I did was I just go and eat a lot of food. Like whatever the food it was there inside house, I just go and just eat it all. And then and I always felt bloated and felt bad, and then like after I ate the whole thing, like I felt even more worse. Like I started the whole binge eating like episode like with so much pain, and then at the end of it, like again I was like again with more pain, like more pain than I even started with. And then there was quite a struggle for me. I didn't know how to really get, because like imagine that when I felt more like worse before I started the binge eating like the episode, and then like I wanted to eat even more because I felt so bad after I binge it. And there was like a vicious cycle, it was always there. And I didn't know what I need to do, how I can get out of this. I felt so helpless, to be very honest. And I remember one time, there was this guy who just showed me he showed me some Coke bottles, and one was very thin, kind of a very shaped Coke bottle, and the other one is like a mega bottle. And he showed me that and said that this looks like you. Like, I mean, that's now it's like I can laugh at it, but then again, at that time I was like 15, 16. I took it very seriously and I felt very hurt. Just like I took I mean, it was, I took it very personally. And, and that was quite hard, getting comments like that. I mean, you don't like it, right? So, and so I was like struggling by myself, and I remember whenever I, there's food at my place, I know exactly how much of food is there and where it is exactly, and how much of quantity that is available. I was that aware because I always wanted to fill myself, and that I realized later, the emptiness that I felt, that is what I was trying to fill it. I think everyone who is addicted to any substance, that is what they are doing. They are trying to fill that emptiness that they have inside them. For me, I went for food. Someone else, they could be going for something else, and so this happened for quite a long time, and I felt very helpless. I felt quite helpless, and I tried everything that I could possibly do. I tried like hundreds of times, like hundreds of diets out there, keto, you name it. I tried everything, and I of course I lose the weight, and then I gain back. It's a matter of time, I'm gaining back. And I didn't know what I could be really doing because I was so focused. And there were times that, like, whenever I go on a binge. Like, imagine I had a binge on for my dinner, and then the next morning, like, I just calculate the thing and I try to avoid the breakfast because I know I had so much calories and all that. So I'm just like constantly doing this calorie counting and things like that. And then it was madness, and I was so scared of food. I was so scared of food because I knew that if it's there, I would be eating it. And that's how it was, And also, I remember I weigh around 58 kg. For my height, it was overweight. When you check the BMI, it's so obvious that you're overweight for your height, and so and when you see that weight, the number, you feel even more worse. And I tried many things. Sometimes, in order to cover up what I ate, I go do workout for 3 hours long, sometimes for so many hours. But then again, I am back again in the same place. This continued for so long, until I started really realizing many things in my life, and I started becoming aware of all these patterns. It was clearly there was a nice pattern for 9 years. There was a real pattern. What I really first did was I make it sure that the patterns happen constantly. I made it little stretched. The pattern happened a little bit longer times. The episodes started becoming stretching, and I started becoming more and more aware of what's really going on. Because it was very, very useful. I started becoming very aware what's really going on. And I could say, with binge eating, the number one thing what I've realized is binge eating is nothing to do with the food. It's nothing to do with the food. It's everything to do with like an emotional issue. That is exactly what's really going on. That's the underlying emotional issue that you are trying to cover up, and that the food was the way I was coping up with that emotions, and I was really repressing my emotions through eating food, and that's not the way to go. And I know that many women are like, not only women, even men have like binge eating disorders. Yeah, but this will more resonate with women, I could say. And this was this whole solo like struggle for me, and I didn't even want to tell about this with anyone because I felt like really embarrassed to share that, because I felt so uncontrollable around food. I was eating because I was constantly in that emotional like sometimes there could be emotional things stacking up, and you can't even then it's becoming more and more overwhelmed. And when I went to the university, this was again there was there, and I found it very hard to come out of this, and I felt very helpless. And plus, you don't even want to share these stories. It's very vulnerable. And when I see myself in the mirror, I feel worse. And especially when I go to like shopping and when I fit on and see myself through that, I felt even more worse. So this whole journey really continued the whole process. For the 9 years it was there, and then I felt like I don't know what to do anymore. And even this is I remember I was watching all the YouTube videos. I did everything that I could possibly do, but I couldn't go beyond it because I felt like there's some force coming up, and then I just go towards the food, And that's crazy. It's completely out of my control. I couldn't do anything about it. And I didn't know what I need to really do also. Yeah. So and there's this there are some discoveries that I found in my journey, and the number one discovery is diets doesn't work. Diets, they didn't work for me. Maybe there could be other people who maybe there are people who that works for them, but for me that was not the case. Diets never worked out for me. I tried many diets, but then again, since I was not really addressing the root cause of the problem, which is the emotional issues that I was going through, this whole binge eating was continue to happen. So that's very important. You're addressing the root cause of the problem. Until then, you can do hundreds of diets, but same thing, same story. That's one thing. Diets do not work. That's for sure. And I did. Nothing worked. And that's one discovery. And then the next thing, I realized when I was binge eating, I was looking for something very deep. And I realized there was love that I was looking for through food, which was shocking to me. I realized that when I was being more and more aware about my life and these whole patterns, because they were continued happening. And I realized that what I was really looking for is love through food. And that's very sad that I was trying to get love through food, because that's what I was doing, and everyone is here looking for love. And more specifically, I realized I was even looking for dad's love through food. And that really shocked me to the core, because I really didn't know that that's what I was looking for. And this, like, I am sure this is the case with many people out there, but that could change as well, because food and love, that always goes together. If you see that, if you take, for example, a baby, and you give only the baby just the milk, but not the warmth of the mom, then it will be an issue for the baby to survive. Because you need their love. We are all looking for love. And sadly, I was looking for love through food. And then I determined that, okay, I need love, and I'm not going to look for love through food. And that's another discovery that I found, and that was like really hit me. And the third thing was like the discovery that I realized, the reason why I was so was doing this whole binge eating, so I was so in my mind. And I realized I was so disconnected with my body. I was always in my mind. So since I was in my mind, I was very disconnected, and I wasn't really listening to my body. And my mind says, oh, this is a good food, this is very tasty, go on eating. But then again, my body says, no, don't eat this, this is enough. But then I'm listening to my mind and my body. Since I'm so over in top of here, not in my body, I kept on eating. I was very disconnected from my body. And that was one of the reasons why I was eating so much, because I was completely disconnected from my body. And that's the other discovery that I realized, and that again helped me a lot. I'm sure if you are going through binge eating, I'm sure this is the case with you as well. And you must be very disconnected from yourself. Many people live in their mind, like up here, than in their body. I was not an exception. I was the same. Yeah. So the next discovery that I realized is awareness and binge eating cannot stay together. I realized that I always went and did binge eating when I was in a very unconscious state, when I felt very overwhelmed, when I'm not in touch with my emotions and I felt very overwhelmed. So if I had that my awareness at that particular time, I cannot binge eat. And that was very interesting. That was the best discovery I have realized. Awareness and binge eating cannot stay together. Any addiction. That's the case. So if you have more mindfulness in your life, it's very unlikely you go for binge eating. Yeah. And then let's talk about what you can, like now you heard my story and how I struggled through that whole process, and I was trying to figure things out for myself. That's the worst thing. I mean, I really don't recommend that. I always like, the best thing you can do is seek for support. Let's look at what you can do about binge eating. The best thing is, don't try to struggle by yourself. Just reach out and get the help. Just seek the support. That's the best thing. And also, I have seen that even there are coaches who are specialized on binge eating. And if you want to work with me, you can work with me, as well as there are coaches who are specialized on binge eating. Work with someone. I think the best thing is, what you can do is look for someone who has already gone through binge eating and someone who came out of it, rather than you go for a random person and get advice. That's the best thing, because that person has the experience. Go for someone who has already gone through the binge eating process and went beyond it. Now they have a balance and freedom around food. That's the best thing you can do. If you take, like, rather than, let's say there's two pilots. One has a degree on flying. The other one has already, like, the other one has the experience of flying for many years, like 5 years. Who would you choose as your pilot? It's obvious you will take this person who has the 5 experience rather than who has a degree on it. So what I would suggest is, go seek for support from someone who has the experience of going through the binge eating and has come out of it. That's the best you can do for yourself. And don't struggle by yourself. Just reach to someone and share your story. I myself have gone to a coach and got support. There was an NLP coach, and I always seek support. Why you need to struggle by yourself when there are many experts out there? They fast track the whole process. So I really suggest, rather than trying to deal with this by yourself, just go reach out to someone whom you feel like sharing and openly share your story. And with my many clients come and, like, sometimes cry for hours with me. And so I'm there, just being there for them, where they can just openly share all that inside their pain, and go someone where you feel very comfortable. That's very important. And the second thing you can do about this is listen to your body. I told you, like, there must be a disconnection with your body. So the best thing what you can do is connect to your body again and listen to truly what the body needs, not what the mind wants. Your mind is confused, and if you listen to your mind, it's all over the place. Listen to your body, what really the body wants. What do I need to have for the breakfast? Do I feel enough now? Connect to your body again. Listen to your body. And that's very important. Just by listening to your body makes a huge difference. You've been so up here, now come down here and be with your body. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the third thing you can do is feel your emotions. Emotions are not something bad. Allow yourself to feel sadness. Allow yourself to feel whatever the emotion you're experiencing. And emotions are not bad. I mean, emotions are not monsters. Don't run away from emotions. Be with them. Have a chat with your emotions. Ask your emotion to come and sit with you and have a cup of coffee with you and tell about it, why it's there. So it's very important that you allow yourself to feel emotions rather than repressing those emotions with food. This doesn't work. For how long you're going to do this? I mean, this doesn't apply for just on food. Any addiction you have. It's very important. So the fourth thing is like mindfulness. Become more and more aware about your binge eating. I remember one time, I was working with one of my clients on binge eating, and she came to me and said that now it's impossible for her to even binge eat because of the awareness she has around the whole issue. So it's all about becoming aware of what's going on inside you. So you can even practice a meditation. You don't need to go like all crazy with meditation. I started my meditation with 3 minutes, and then gradually I increased that up to like 30 minutes. So what you can also do is just develop a meditation habit. And now I will go more deep into it in other episodes, like other videos. Just do simple meditation. Just like one time I was sharing with a video that just listen to the silence around you. What a simple thing to do. So develop more mindfulness in your life. That's why I said mindfulness and binge eating can't go together. And then the next thing is, see what's the truth you are trying to avoid to see in your life. Like, for example, I was trying to avoid many truths in my life. I didn't want to face the truth about my exams because I saw that I wasn't doing daily studies, and then I knew that this is going to be very bad. And I felt very overwhelmed. And I wanted to avoid that truth about my life. And there were many things that I was avoiding truths as such. And I was going through a breakup at age about like 2011. I didn't want to face that truth. I didn't want to feel those emotions. I wanted to repress all that and just seal them. So those are truths that I was avoiding without facing what's my reality. So I would like to ask you also, what are the truths you are avoiding in your life? And for how long you can avoid these truths? So I would suggest you to face full on whatever the truths you're avoiding, because for how long you're going to do that. This work that I do with spirituality, not only realizing the existential truth, but understanding the truths about every aspect about your life. So I suggest you to look for what are the truths you're avoiding in your life. So those are the few steps you can take immediately to go beyond binge eating. I think if you do these 5 steps, you will definitely go beyond it, and that's for sure. And if you want, you can even reach out to me and I could support you, I would even I'm even giving a free session. So let me know. And there are other coaches just on specialized on binge eating. Go out and just reach out to them. Don't struggle by yourself. And and also I remember one time there's this addiction expert which is called Gabo Mate, and he says something very interesting. He says that all the addictions start because they don't have someone like a loving presence in their life. And if they have it, they wouldn't develop that addiction in the first place. And that is a coping mechanism, the food or whatever, the drug or the substance, that is a coping mechanism that they don't know how to deal with their emotions. Yeah, I think that's very interesting and powerful. So I hope it's helpful, and if you like the video, you can like it and subscribe to my channel if you want to learn more about this whole spiritual journey. And so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will meet you in another video. Okay, then take care and have a great day.